The Speaker was solely responsible for the invitation and recognition of this man and has wholly accepted that responsibility and stepped down.
Well, 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 as it turns out, the invitation for the World War II bad guy came directly from the office of the Prime Minister. Now, being thrown under the bus is a normal activity, it seems like, in Ottawa. And of course, Anthony Rota was on the list of people to get thrown under the bus because of this embarrassment that happened in the House of Parliament. They actually honored a World War II clinkety-clank mustache man devotee group. I can't say the word on this platform. We all know what I'm talking about. Bad guy from World War II. They honored him. Vesper Skill here putting a perfectly good graphical representation of what occurs here in Ottawa. Rhoda took the fall for this one, but it turns out it actually was Trudeau. And, well, we're going to get into that, but here's the scene from the day. This was when Vladimir Zelensky came to Canada, and they brought this World War II veteran of the bad guys out to the House of Parliament, and then Anthony Rota was tasked with introducing him, and you can tell there's an awkward pause when you see that Anthony Rota actually realized what was being said here.
We have here in the chamber today Ukrainian-Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians. And
you notice that pause there? That was the moment when he realized what he was talking about. You don't have to know your history that well to know that in the Second World War, we actually allied with the Russians against Ukrainians that were allied with the Germans. So it's pretty apparent what side the guy was on.
Continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98.
And this was the applause that rocked the nation and was heard around the world. Of course, a great embarrassment for Canada. But Anthony Rota was given the blame by the Prime Minister's office and the cabinet, where they were calling for his resignation.
Donc, ce qui s'est passé vendredi, what happened on Friday is completely unacceptable. It was an embarrassment to the House and to Canadians. And I think the Speaker should listen to members of the House and step down.
Okay. Also, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau echoing those sentiments.
As I said yesterday, this was deeply embarrassing for the House and for Canada. It is a good thing that Speaker Rota apologized personally, and I'm sure he's reflecting now on how to ensure the dignity of the House going forward.
He's going to ensure the dignity of the House going forward. It calls for stepping down. Now, if this is the logic for this case, that if it was his responsibility that he should step down, well, what would it be if it was Justin Trudeau's responsibility? Oh, what's this? That's right. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's office has confirmed months after acrimony first arose over his House of Commons recognition that Yaroslav Hunka, a veteran who fought with the Clinkety Clank clan, we all know what I'm talking about, unit during the Second World War, the bad guys, that is, was also invited to a Toronto reception for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. That's right. And this, according to the Globe and I think it's the Globe and Mail. Yeah, it was the Globe and Mail that reported on this. The invitation from the Prime Minister to a special event at Fort York Armory in Toronto later that evening was sent to Mr. Hunka 4 days before the reception from the Office of Protocol of Canada. The Toronto reception was attended by Prime Minister Trudeau, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, and President Zelensky and his wife Elena, as well as other dignitaries and members of Canada's Ukrainian community. The invitation, seen by Globe and Mail, was sent to Mr. Hunka in an email under the subject line, "Invitation from the Prime Minister of Canada," dated September 22, 2023. Dear Yaroslav Hunka, by name, they invited him directly to him from that office. The Right Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, is pleased to invite you to a special event. The event will take place on Friday, September 22, 2023 at 8:30 p.m. in Toronto, Ontario. That's right. The Prime Minister himself invited not Anthony Rota. And people might be asking, oh, well, maybe they didn't know. Perhaps they didn't know. No, this has to be vetted. They have to know who these people are. And of course, Nya on X pointed out they've known since the 1950s that there were Ukrainian clinkety-clank bad guys in Canada. That's right. And this is an excerpt from an old document here saying the relaxation of security screening guidelines with record to former members of the Clinkety Clank clan, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Waffen SS and Clinkety Clank collaborators. That's right. Admissions of former members of the Ukrainian Waffen SS. The Waffen SS, by the way, was a voluntary group of people who were ideologically aligned with the funny mustache man back in World War II. This is not some conscripted service where they were forced into it. No. This was, and this wasn't people who were, voluntarily going into it because, they thought they were going to get drafted. No. This was people who were ideologically aligned with the funny mustache. That's correct. Now, of course, this was after Anthony Rota had given his resignation. Justin Trudeau made a special conference talking about this and about how we were deeply embarrassed by Rota's blunder.
In a few moments, I will address the House in front of all Canadians, in front of Jewish people here and around the world, and Ukrainians, to offer Parliament's unreserved apologies for what happened on Friday. The Speaker was solely responsible for the invitation and recognition of this man and has wholly accepted that responsibility and stepped down. This was a mistake that has deeply embarrassed Parliament and Canada. All of us who were in this House on Friday regret deeply having stood and clapped, even though we did so unaware of the context.
And now it turns out that you invited him. It was Justin Trudeau who invited him personally. Now, Anthony Rota was asked, I think this is by CTV News, about the situation and took full responsibility for it.
Pass on responsibilities to staff or blame anyone. It came out of my office. I took responsibility for it.
Did you personally approve Hunka being in the gallery?
Well, the way the process works is the invitation came in, someone came in and requested that they be there. Then that goes to protocol. Protocol takes it, and what they will do is then they issue the invitation. Prior to that, normally it goes to the Prime Minister's office, and they go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And then the invitation goes out from protocol. So who invited him? That's up for grabs and whatnot. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? I think it matters. And Anthony Rota, having resigned, will he be reinstated after this? That is a big question. Will he get a reinstatement? He resigned on his own in this case, but who really wants a guy who's going to fall on a sword for Justin Trudeau in Parliament anyway? Roman Baber taking to Twitter to say he lied again. The PMO invited Hunka, an actual clinkety-clank, to the reception later that evening. Justin Trudeau and the woke left must never call people who disagree with them the clankety clank clan. That you can't do that anymore. You've worn out that ability to call people that name anyway. Poetic justice strikes again, of course. Leslyn Lewis taking to Twitter as well to say Trudeau misled Canadians by saying he had no involvement with the inviting of the clinkety-clank bad guy who was honored in Parliament. Now we find out he was invited by the Prime Minister's official reception. The Prime Minister will throw anyone under the bus, no matter the cost, to avoid taking responsibility. This is not leadership the Canadians deserve. No, this is not. It's not leadership at all to be throwing people under the bus. But since this was the protocol that Justin Trudeau said, as soon as the responsibility was seen by Anthony Rota, he was to resign. Now we know that the responsibility falls on the Prime Minister. Do you think he's going to resign over this? I don't think he will. By his own logic, he ought to. But I'll just leave that one to you. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you, of course, in the next one. Keep on trucking.